diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hello, I'm Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and today I have with me Peyton Ramsey, who's a quarterback out of Northwestern, previously from Indiana. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Cool. So for people that really don't know you and your journey, give me just sort of a overall like brief summary, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I started my career out at Indiana. I was in Bloomington for 4 seasons. Accomplished a lot, had a lot of fun, and won a couple games there towards the end, and ended it out on a good note. And then decided that I was going to transfer at the transfer portal, and then made my way to Northwestern. Played in the Big Ten championship game this past year, and had a lot of fun at Northwestern. So played at 2 Big Ten schools, and had a lot of fun and met a lot of cool people along the way.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Big Ten football is no joke. I mean, obviously one of the better conferences in all of college football. And being able to say that you were a starter on 2 of those teams is pretty cool. And of course, this past season, really good season for Northwestern. Northwestern been a pretty good program actually the past few years. So it's great that you were able to go out there. They also have a pretty good academic, set of things there too. So I mean, it's kind of nice to stick your foot in those classroom doors as well. So,
Yep.
So hey, man, couple different questions that I kind of want to throw your way, and just sort of give you the opportunity to respond. What do you think is like the best part about your game? What kind of quarterback are you? And maybe if there's like a player in the league that you compare yourself to or aspire to be, or anything of that nature.
Yeah, I think the best part of my game is just the ability to make quick decisions, get the ball out of my hands quick, complete passes, and do so accurately. I think the game, more than ever, requires you to be able to complete passes and make smart decisions quickly. And, that's something that I've always kind of prided myself on doing. I think that a lot of that starts in the way that you prepare, starts in the film room. And, to your question about who I compare myself or who I aspire to be, I see some of myself in Russell Wilson, just the way he's able to extend plays and the way he prepares and gets the ball out of his hands. One of my favorite guys in the league just to watch because he's so consistent. He does it every single Sunday. There's never a question or there's never, a flaw that people talk about on a consistent basis with Russell. He's just such a well-rounded player and a well-rounded person. Just one of my favorite guys.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a guy that, honestly, I wish we would have drafted back in 2012. I mean, I know there have been rumors that he might go somewhere else. I don't know how I feel about that. I think that the Seahawks would be stupid in doing that, but that's kind of my opinion. But I don't know, man. When I was looking at you, I saw a little bit of everything. I mean, I feel like some people are knocking you maybe on your arm strength, which I don't know if that's really an accurate thing. I mean, what do you think? I mean, what do you say to those doubters in your ability?
Yeah, I mean that's something that I definitely hear. Definitely something that's been a point of emphasis down here since I'm training in Tampa. Just putting more spin on the ball. I think my arm's stronger than what people do realize. Didn't have a ton of opportunities to throw it, down the field a bunch. And I think that might be where some of that criticism comes from, is because I didn't do it as much as some other guys. But yeah, it's something that I've heard over my years. But something that I don't know how true it is, but still continue to work on it and make myself that much better.
Right. And I mean, I don't know exactly how you try to improve upon that arm strength. I mean, I know you said that you were training down there in Tampa somewhere. Where are you training at right now?
I'm training with a guy by the name of Yo Murphy. Just opened up his private gym down here. There's about 15 or 16 of us down here training, and with a quarterback coach by the name of John Kaleo. He's got 2 quarterbacks in the league right now, James Morgan and Alex McGew. Been down here in Tampa doing this for a while, so in a really, really good spot with, with some good guidance.
Cool. So, I mean, you are working, I guess, now towards your pro day. I mean, when's that on the docket for as of right now? I mean, what's the schedule for that?
Yeah, it's coming up. A week and a half. March the 9th is our scheduled pro day up there at Northwestern.
March 9th. I got to keep that in my notes because I have another, I have other guys that I have on my list. So March 9th is definitely a day that'll be here before you know it. What are your goals for that pro day? I mean, what do you wish to accomplish?
Yeah, I think we just kind of talked about, one of that, just to show scouts and whoever decides to come to our pro day that my arm's stronger than what I think people really realize. I think they'll see the accuracy piece. I think they'll see my footwork, but just to show that I can make all the throws on the field and that my arm is definitely an NFL caliber arm.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a little bit of your footwork. I mean, you're a guy that can take, all the necessary drops. I mean, I have seen you under center, which I know sometimes like that's the knock these days on a lot of collegiate quarterbacks is, they're always in shotgun. But I mean, I realize that you've done a lot of different things there. And I mean, let's just face it, like you said, I mean, you're kind of also in a particular scheme. I mean, you've been in a couple of different schemes. So far, systems, there with Indiana and Northwestern, and you just kind of need to, do whatever the coaches tell you to do. If they tell you to go like over here or really take those deep shots, that's what you do. Yeah, that's all you can say. So I mean, we don't have a combine this year, so I mean, you can't really get on, do some of these other drills, which I don't know, maybe they're not too important for quarterbacks. I mean, do I really need to see you run a 40? Probably not. I mean, you figure Tom Brady ran over 5-second 40 and he's the GOAT. So, I mean, does that really matter? But are you actually training for some of those other like events down there? I mean, are you doing a bench or anything like that?
I'm not going to bench, but I'll do, I am planning on doing all the other combine drills. I'm going to run a 40 and do the 5, 10, 5 and the 3 cone. Just because that's part of my game. I think just showing teams that I'm elusive and that I have that, the intermediate quickness and can change direction. I think, for a guy like me who's been able to do it in college, just to put good times out there and reiterate to teams that I'm an athletic guy and that I have the ability to make plays outside of the pocket.
Cool. Well, I mean, you've also displayed some of that in some AllStar events too. I mean, I realized that you went down to the Dallas-Fort Worth area for the College Gridiron Showcase, and you even went all the way out to Hawaii to the Hula Bowl to showcase your talent. Tell me a little bit about those events, man. Like, how were those events? Share just a little bit of your experience.
Yeah, I mean, they were a lot of fun. I think the cool part is, just coming together and getting to know a lot of guys from across the country, quarterback, wide receiver, you name it, every position. Just getting to be down there with guys who have been there and done it and been in your shoes. I think that was the coolest part. But then just getting to meet and hang out with some of the quarterbacks that I had the opportunity to be with when I was at both spots. Guys who have been in your shoes and have played college level quarterback is, there's a small group of people that can say they've done that, and just getting to hang around some of those guys and share stories and just talk. It was a cool moment, just a really special thing.
So, I mean, there's a lot that's going on in, those AllStar, events. I mean, obviously you had a game for the Hula Bowl to go out there and throw the ball a little bit. But the CGS is a little different. I mean, they kind of just run you through some drills, which I think is fine. But other than that, like you have seminars to attend, and you also get to actually sit down with a lot of different teams. I mean, were you able to meet with a lot of different teams? I mean, can you chat just a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, I talked with I was down at CGS, probably 10 or so teams. Not going to list them off here, but talked to about 10, and then at the Hula Bowl, a couple more, probably 4 or 5, 2 or 3 more. I don't even know what the total is at, but I've talked to some teams, and that communication, still stands. March and April will be a big month for interviews, and and kind of continuing to put myself out there. So I think the CGS, like you mentioned, while it was just kind of a series of drills and stuff, it was a good opportunity to get exposed to the interview process and meet with some teams.
I mean, at the very least, you figure probably half the teams in the NFL right now know who you are, sat down with you, actually done their interviews. I mean, maybe even a couple of guys from the CFL actually, talk to you as well. I mean, but I mean, people are going to just get to know you more and more as this process moves along. And I mean, and hopefully the people that actually see this interview get the opportunity to just sort of meet you, get to know you a little bit through this interview that we're doing here, which I think is great. So I don't know, just a couple of different moments that I just want you to share with us, with regards to you and your history. Walk us through that first college start. You walk out there. I mean, you get recruited. You go over to, I guess, at Indiana at this stage. How did that feel for you? Like, how did that work out?
Yeah, it was cool for me because my first start was probably 4 or 5 games into the season. I'd played on and off throughout the first couple of weeks, and then earned the starting spot going into week 5 or 6. We were playing Charleston Southern, I think, at home. Super rainy, it was a downpour. But it was just I think my nerves were eased a little bit just because I had played a little bit. I had some experience, even though I was a young kid still. But just walking out there as a starter, something that you dream about for a long time. Definitely a cool moment, and one that I won't forget.
Gotcha. And tell me about maybe another moment. Like, what has been like your, I don't know, like the biggest highlight or just most memorable moment of your career, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was necessarily an in-game moment, but we pulled up to Lucas Oil Stadium the night before we played in the Big Ten championship game against Ohio State this year, and just walking in there and it all decked out for the Big Ten championship, and you see the stage where all the Fox commentators are sitting, and just walking in there, something that you've wanted to accomplish for a really, really long time, and then have the opportunity to do that. Even though there wasn't fans in the stands, I don't think any of that stuff mattered. I think just being able to walk out there and take it all in, and just be there for it was a really cool moment.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, obviously, you're playing, one of the better teams in college football there. I don't believe you guys got that win, but I mean, still, like you said, great moment to represent. Honestly, I thought that your very last game was a very good game because you were able to go out there in a bowl game and do very well against Auburn. So throwing for almost 300 yards, I think you got like 3 touchdowns. So I mean, you figure you put on that last game. I mean, that last piece of tape. I mean, you're giving a lot of people something to look forward to, which I think is great. I don't know, man. Just tell us a little bit more about yourself, if you don't mind. I mean, share with us like who is Peyton Ramsey other than a quarterback. Maybe you as a student or you as a person, anything that you want to share about yourself, to the people out there.
Yeah, so I'm actually an education major. I graduated with my degree from Indiana in secondary education. So I spent a semester of my time in college student teaching at Bloomington High School. Taught economics and U.S. history to high school juniors and seniors, and it's what I want to do when I'm done playing. I want to teach and I want to coach, and just one of the most enjoyable learning experiences that I've had. Had a bunch of fun doing it, and learned a ton along the way. So something that's a little bit unique that I don't think a lot of college level athletes can say they did.
Yeah, I mean, teaching is no joke. I mean, it's definitely not for the faint of heart. I think your subjects are, fairly interesting. So, I mean, I guess that does, help a little bit. For me, I did a little bit of student teaching, teaching first grade, which I don't know, it just wasn't me.
Not for me, yeah.
teaching guys that, in high school probably might have been a little bit more comfortable. But I mean, hopefully maybe down the line, I mean, maybe when football is done for you, going into coaching, going into teaching, I think that's awesome, man. Just kind of, giving back a little bit, and being that, maybe that male figurehead that some guys really need. I think it's great. I want to just give you the opportunity, though, as we begin to wrap up, to give some shout outs to whoever that you feel you would like, to those guys that have just kind of helped you get you where you're at today. Been a lot of, I don't know, maybe friends, coaches, mentors, teammates. Give me maybe a handful of people that mean a lot to you.
Yeah, I mean, I would keep it pretty general. I think all, my teammates, when I wasn't named the starter at Indiana for my senior year, kind of leaned on those guys heavily. I think Coach Fitz and Coach Bajakian at Northwestern for giving me a fresh opportunity, just a new shot to go out and compete and have fun, playing the game that I love. And even when I was at Indiana, Nick Sheridan, quarterback coach, now the offensive coordinator, was always right there by my side and stuck with me. So, I would say my teammates as a whole, generally both Indiana and Northwestern, I don't think I can single out anybody. But coaching wise, there are a lot of coaches that have meant a lot to me, but those guys throughout the course of my college career, they probably mean the most to me, and just really special people.
Gotcha. And I always ask guys the why question. So, I mean, tell everybody why you play football, maybe why you started playing football, and why you play now.
I think I started playing just because I grew up around the game. My dad's a coach, has been for my entire career, and I just grew up around the sport of football and kind of fell in love with it. Really every aspect of it, from the X's and the O's to just being around a team. And I think that's kind of what's kept me going throughout the course of my career, is just being around a group of guys that all have the same goal, and just, enjoying the brotherhood and being together of playing the game. Winning's fun, but just being together all the time and having the same schedule, and just being in a locker room is my favorite part of playing football, and I think that's why I've had so much fun throughout my college career.
Well, I mean, obviously a guy that's been around football forever. I mean, being in that football family. One thing that I was reading about you is that you and your brothers were all named after quarterbacks, which I think is kind of fun. So being named after one of the greats, and I guess I'm assuming it's Peyton Manning.
Sure is, yeah.
Is great. I don't know about the other guys, but I think you got a good name to roll with there.
Yeah, I think so.
But I want to give you the opportunity, very last question, to just give your pitch to those people that may have not actually sat down with you, and you want to tell them maybe why they should draft you or sign you. Tell them what kind of teammate they'd be getting if they took a chance on you.
Yeah, I think if you watch me on tape, which teams have, I think the first thing that you'll see is that I'm a competitor, and I love to play. I don't think there's any questions about my love for the game, and then just the leadership that I bring, and the type of person that I am, both on and off the field. I think you can ask my teammates and my coaches that I've been around throughout the course of my career, and I think they'd say the same thing about me. Just those intangible things that I bring to the table, not necessarily having the biggest arm, not the tallest, the prototypical looking quarterback, but I think, in our game, you can get away with that as long as you bring some of those other intangible things to the table. And, I think I bring them with leadership and toughness and the way that I compete.
Yeah, I mean, this whole prototypical thing, man, people need to get that out of their head. I mean, when you have a guy drafted number 1 overall who's probably 5'10", I mean, come on. They just need to throw that out nowadays. But I mean, I think that your size is fair. I mean, 6'2", 218. I mean, that's certainly fair. And hopefully those guys, when they take a look at your arm, we'll give you the thumbs up because I mean I know that you are able to make a lot of different throws. You know, whether it's the touch passes or the quick passes or even those long bombs. I mean, I know that you can do a lot of those things. Well, Peyton, it's been great. I really appreciate your time. Again, this is Peyton Ramsey, quarterback out of Northwestern, transfer from Indiana. Definitely check him out and give him an opportunity. Thanks again, man.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me on.